Alright, welcome back to the Kingdom Rush Elemental Uprising Elemenace Chest. So I went through, I've popped out all the tokens, popped out all the tiles, put all the little pieces and bits in all their little spots, and we're going to kind of show you, go through top down where everything should kind of be. I'm going to pick my camera up to kind of show you this, just get a little bit higher angle on it, so sorry for the shaky cam. Now this is only going to work if you have the Elemenace Chest and some of the stuff makes sense of where it goes very easily, some doesn't, and that's kind of why I wanted to show off this part. So if we just, again, squeak our top off there, I'll kind of just start right here. So I left this cardboard tray in here for the fact that it holds these instruction books and that stuff, kind of keeps these guys from sliding around too much. Plus I have all my stickers. So I put all the stickers in here. You do get 2 sets of every stickers. The game only actually wants you to play with one of each type. It's like one sticker sheet. So if I'm using this, I have 2 copies of this, but I have one of each of all the rest. But it gives you a second one in the game just in case over time things start to happen. You have a second copy of them. And then what you do is you just stick them in the book here. And then you can peel them off when you put them on your towers. And when you're done, you can put them back on here, because that way they can go on a different tower next time. We have all our challenge stickers in here. Iron challenges, stars. On the other side, we have... So I'm kind of leaving these in this plastic just to kind of help keep track of them. If I can get these out. We have some gold victory bands to show that we've beaten area. We have some more stars. Plus we have some sinister shadows, which is one of the expansions, adds some additional sinister challenges. And now this is getting stuck to that. And I put the small books in there. So I just kind of kept that. Now, you don't have to keep all this once you stick all the stickers in there. You wouldn't have to necessarily keep this because they would stay in the booklet. I did it so they don't slide out. But if we take that off, here we have all of our rule books, all that fun stuff just sitting right on top. You have to basically keep all of them because they're all your scenario books. So unfortunately, it's not like I can just condense them down to one. Alright. Now I'm going to pick this camera up so we can get an overhead look at this. And apologize for any glare or any of that. Again, camera shaky. So here we have all of our big boards. There are 3 of them. And they sit nice and neat inside the tower trays. So they hold in there so they're not sliding all around. On the other side, we have all of our character expansions. So these were our trays for each character. So here we have Satan, sorry. So if I pop him open, I have that reference card I showed earlier. I have the tower, his tower board, or his board. And I have all his tokens. So it does kind of do a nice little like increase on here for each of the 4 tokens. They could have just had a little empty tray. It wouldn't have been that big of a deal. And then any of his tokens that he would need for the game. So basically, if I want to play with him, I just grab this little box. And I can just go at it. I can grab his miniature. And I don't have to sit here and dig through a big giant tray or have a tray out for all 10 characters. Is there 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 characters. You don't have to dig through all 9 characters to find your specific tokens. So it's a really fun thing they did. Alright, so if we move the boards, the next thing we have is our tower tray. I'm going to slide this to the side. We're going to pop this open and look at what that does. Oops, I grabbed our other tray as well. So, before I showed you earlier, this was empty. This is what it's all full. So now we have all our different types of towers. So we have all of our archer towers, which are shown with the arrow tiles. The magic towers, the bombardment towers, and the soldier barracks. And they go from 1 to 4. So you have 4 copies of level 1, 3 copies of level 2, 2 copies of level 3, and then level 4, you have 2, but they're 2 different ones. So that's why they stay up there. So then as you upgrade them, you put the old one back, you grab the new one, but they're all nice and sorted out so you can just grab them very quickly. Oh, I'm buying number 1. Oh, later I'm putting it back, I'm going to grab a number 2. I can just grab one out. You know, and it's, again, you're not just stacked together and you have to restack them. There's nothing below any of them, so they're just like that. They're nice and easy to grab out. Now, the question, so they're all the same here. So the question is, could you combine these probably with the other Kingdom Rush game and just have all your towers in one? I haven't tested it to see if they're going to stick up too high. You might be able to. If you have that game, you might be able to add those towers in there. But then you're going to have to dig through all the towers unless you just want a random level 1, level 2 tower. Not that big of a deal, but it's possible. We have some of our game tokens here, our spawn points, our event tokens. We have our gold coins here. We have our crystals. Now, I have the 3D upgraded crystals, so I put them in here. Otherwise, your tokens would kind of line up in there. You have all your bases in here, different colors, purple, orange, green, whites, your entrances, your exits here, your tower colors, and I have the heart meeples, which are, again, upgraded elements. If you don't have them, you have the base game, they're just going to be the tokens. That's where they go as well. If you possibly got one of the upgrades, it came with a lot more than 8 hearts, which are how many I have in here, because that's how many the game came with. So they might not all fit. Alternatively, you might be able to dump the coins in here and put all the meeple hearts in there. But the game says you only need 8, so I only put 8 in there. In the final towers, we have 2 dragons, which are part of one of the expansions. So they go in there. And this is, again, nice. Game Trays is really good at making these things nice and fit and comfy. And they're not going to spill out, which is really good. Our next part of our box is then we have all of our miniatures down here. If I pull this out, and I pull him, we have some cloud tokens down there. They are going to be used for one of the expansion bosses. That's kind of why they're hidden down there, because they're only going to be used for a boss and a specific scenario. So they're not usable all the time. We have some of our little dragons, some of our extra heroes there. Underneath these guys, we have our 2 other dragon and phoenix heroes, plus our shades from the expansions. So they're kind of hiding out down there. And those guys will kind of help keep them in their place. You unfortunately do have to keep this plastic piece in there, because I think if you took it out, the little guys would probably fly around. The big guys might not move as much, but the little guys would probably move. Then we have this tray here. So if we take that out, we'll have all our different tokens underneath. We'll look at those in a moment. This is where all the rest of the tokens go. We're going to pop this open as well. And then now we have spots for our archer towers, mage towers. So the bigger ones, like the L's and the big ones. The single ones I put separately. Our flower blossoms, I put half on one side, half on the other. And I put their corresponding tokens. So fire, ice, and rock are matched here. Storm and earth, or magic grass, I don't know what color that is, life, are matched there. Then we have our bombardment tokens. Now the soldiers don't actually have tokens. They do, they have some of these blades. But then they also have the little soldier figures. So I have the 3D miniatures again. You might have the meeples, which fit in there just as well. The same thing with the sand troopers. So if I grabbed the instructions here, if I can find them. So you would have gotten the base game, you would have had the little soldier meeples and the Eldritch Sand Warriors instead of the 3D miniatures that I got. I just thought they looked a little bit cooler. Gonna go all in, you may as well go all in. But they'll all fit in there no matter what. And then we have some elemental train tiles, and then these are all the boss tokens. Now, these were some of these were kind of confusing on how to figure out where they went. So if I pull out some of these tokens here, you'll see it kind of looks like it has 2 arrows hitting a bullseye in a circle. So that's our arrow tokens. And then the small one will have the same thing as well. If we move our blossoms, so they're going to have a blossom in squares, showing that they're big fat tiles. It's going to look like that blossom, except the non-withered version. That's the symbol we have. That's the same one on this side, showing you have the big tiles for the blossoms. And then these ones have that symbol as well, but then it has 2 little squares to show that they're the little tokens. So that's how you know that those are supposed to go there. The mage tokens have, dumping these out everywhere, they have like a fireball, which goes very well with the mage fireball, I guess. If you put these in different spots, it's not going to be the end of the world. It's not like there's something that's going to address you not to do that. That's just kind of how they have them designed. And then this one for the bombardment, we have like a bomb blast. For these tiles, we have what looks like terrain, mountains, water, forests. So that's kind of the terrain. That one's a little less intuitive versus the other ones. And the same thing kind of with the boss ones here. It just has tokens and tiles, you know, just in general. So I had to actually look that one up to see exactly where all those went. But these are all ones that various enemies will play. But then having them in this tray makes this very helpful for when you go to play, because you don't have to then pull all of these tokens out and find them every time. And then this one we do have, it looks like a little picture of a blade slashing down. And then in the soldier one, we actually have a picture of a soldier and like a guy with kind of like a whirlwind or a sandstorm around him. So once you kind of recognize what the symbols mean, they make sense. But at the beginning, it can be a little overwhelming. Alright, pop that back on. The only thing you have to watch is these guys are kind of sticking up a bit. Alright. Then we go back to our case for our final stuff. So we have our big long ones here. You'll have 5 of those. And those just lay across the top there. They kind of help hold all this stuff in. We have our scenarios, which you can really put however you want. I kind of have them divided between all the main ones and some of the expansions. Again, I have the expansions down here. We have some more of the character meeples. We have 3 single tiles, which again, they kind of fit right in there. They have a nice little hole and holds them in tight. Cards aren't going to slide out. Just drop the big cards back on top. Drop a couple of these on this side to kind of keep them even. Now these guys might slide a little left and right. That's not a big deal. Then you put these guys back on. And again, this might slide a little, but it's not going to really go anywhere. Your green trays are all going to stay the same. We have 4 of these small tiles, which will hold the rest of the cards. Then we have the portal token, which you could put there, put there, put there, put wherever seems to work for you. We drop that back in. And that is all of our content. And we put everything back in the box. Put the instructions back in there. Put this tray back in there to kind of help hold everything. And voila. There we have... we have all of our stuff in one box. So again, I have some of the upgraded components, like the different meeples and stuff, which still fit in there very nice. The only thing that won't fit in here that you could buy that's optional are the 3D towers, which I've done a separate video. I think it's one of my other videos. I'm not going to pull them out for this, but they have their own box. They kind of sit in there nice. They have their own little trays. So if you bought this, you have to, and you bought the 3D towers, you at least have to have a separate box just for them. They don't have a way to fit them in here. But those towers can be shared between Elemental Rift and Rift in Time and Elemental Uprising. This box, I believe, is exactly the same size as the other one. So if you get the other big chest, that can fit in there as well. Or not fit in there, but you can stack them together. At least they're the same size. Alright, so that's what I have for this video, part 1 of Elemental Uprising. So yeah, come back, check out the rest of the videos. Part 2, we will go over the 5 base game heroes, and we'll look at their abilities, as well as the different spells and some of the mod cards and mod abilities for the towers and all that. We'll take a little bit closer look at those. Video 3, we will go through all the bosses and the mob cards and take a look and see what you're going to be fighting against. Video 4, we will go through the More Than Shadows. It's the Shadow expansion. I forgot. It's the big expansion. It's the Lucky Ducks exclusive expansion. So again, it might be available in the store for a limited time. I'm not for sure how long they'll have it. And then they will have. And then the last 2 videos will be the 2 last expansions, which I haven't decided will still on they take, whether I do them as one combined video or if I do 2 separate. Just if they start taking too long, I might separate them out. And then I will eventually, after I have all of them made, posted, all that stuff, you guys have got a chance to watch them all, I will at some point try and do a comparison video between this and Rift in Time, so you can kind of see the difference between some of the different characters who are in there, some of the different layouts of the tiles, how, like, what the different things are, the different mixing matches you can kind of do, and if you potentially like to, like, mix them together, a possible way you can do that. It won't be an official way, it'll be like way I've kind of came up with or created. Probably won't have ever tested it, but at least it'd be an idea. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please check out the rest. Go back, check out the other one if you want to see what that content is. See you later. Bye.